Bill Grandpa here. Gonna go jeeping for the first time in more than a year, I think. Yeah, more than a year and a half maybe. Anyway, I got my little YJ fixed up pretty good. Got some traction tires on it, and got my broken toe here, and my little boot that goes on. Brought my drone. And George, I'm going to meet George up in Belfair at the Safeway, and we're going to go to Tahuya State RV Park and see what the little Jeep will do. He has his little Jeep too, and he has a little bit bigger engine, bigger tires and stuff, so I'm hoping his will do better than mine, but I'm hoping mine does okay. But anyway, here we go. Tahuya State Forest. That's where we went. The trail width is fairly narrow, but they ought to upgrade the sign to say that you need 35-inch tires as a minimum. It started off not too bad. This is about what the trails used to look like a year and a half, 2 years ago. They were challenging, but not too bad. On the side, you can see the motorcycles or the quad runners, that kind of thing, can go over there. Or the people with the 35-inch tires if they wanted to kind of go up on those mounds and stuff and flex their springs and that kind of thing. But this is how the trails, most of the trails used to be, is like this. But every once in a while they would have a little bypass trail that would take a little detour and it'd come back onto the main trail. And the bypass one would always generally be a lot worse shape. And I mean, it was for the more difficult people that wanted things, more rocks in it and more bumps and holes and that kind of thing. During this part right here, this was reasonably rough. We made it through okay. I tried my drone. My drone was supposed to do a follow thing. I think they call it tracking or something like that. But I couldn't get it to lock on to my Jeep for some reason. I think I read later about it being the Jeep or the drone had to be a lot higher altitude in order to lock onto the Jeep. It won't just follow it like that at that altitude. But you see, I had to try to drive my Jeep and fly the drone at the same time. The drone does have obstacle avoidance on it, so I wasn't too worried about it running into a tree, but it's still always that possibility. And but I tried to do the best I could with driving the Jeep and flying the drone at the same time. I was the only one in the Jeep, and so there's just so much a person can do. But anyways, you can see this here wasn't too bad for the most part. Down here towards the end, I did get kind of stuck a little bit. It's a bit more of a hill than what you can actually see because I took the drone up a little bit higher here, and there's a bit of a hill, and I got kind of high centered on it a little bit, so I had to back up and take another run at it and everything. And you can see as my drone goes through these trees, it avoids them really well. And right in here is when I took the drone up higher. But it was about the dustiest time we've ever had out here at, we call it Tahuya, just for short and stuff, and very, very dusty. And they modified, I'd say about 80% of what I consider the 4x4 trails. And it's a road system and stuff through there. And they went through and they dug holes, and they would dig a hole with a backhoe, and then they'd put the dirt on the other side, and then they would go about 5-10 feet and they'd dig another hole on the opposite side of the road and put the dirt back on the other side there. And so you just end up with hole after hole after hole after hole. And anyway, it just kind of took the fun out of it and stuff, And if you had 35 or 40-inch tires, you're probably just fine, or a quad runner or a motorcycle, you're going to be just fine. But if you have just a regular type of Jeep or a smaller vehicle or something like that, you're not going to be able to go down them anymore. You know, high-centered. I high-centered a lot. You know, I had skid plates underneath my Jeep, so it didn't do any damage or anything like that, but it still kind of takes the fun out of it and stuff. But so anyway, George and I, we after we got out of there and stuff, we stopped and we had some lunch and everything, and at the end of it and stuff, and we kind of decided that there's not really much there for us anymore. So they've modified the trails to kind of get the regular people out. I think they just want to have the quad runners, the motorcycles, and the extreme, what I'd consider extreme Jeeps. My Jeeps I've had in the past, I've had 35-inch tires on them, and it would do it fine. This is George, and in his Jeep, he's got a 1994 Jeep. This is some of the dust. I had my phone sitting down there by the cup holders and stuff, and they're just covered with dust. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and like and subscribe. I sure appreciate it, and it kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what the Tahuya State Forest RV Park is like. Anyway, see you next time.